Buns, and what is up? Today we are going to be braiding our hair. I need something quick and it's going to last me for a good 2 weeks until I decide my next wig style. Of course, let's get started.
HoneyBuntv. Spend this money, gorgeous, all on you, girl.
Okay, honey buns, as y'all know, everything you're going to need is going to be listed in the description box below, but you're really only going to need braiding hair, a couple of scrunchies, as well as some edge control or braiding gel, some clips, and some oil to oil your scalp. And yes, that wild growth was $9.99. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do is start out on clean blow dried hair. Now when it starts getting hot, my roots start to get thick, so I'm trying to work as fast as I can. Okay, we are going to be sectioning our hair off in 2 parts. So the bottom half is going to be full of box braids, and then the top is going to be a little bit combination of box braids and cornrows, if that makes sense. So I'm just sectioning to start off first. As I'm sectioning my hair off, I'm going to start with the top half. Now, remember I said the top half is going to be basically half box braids as well as some cornrows. Well, my 2 box braids, my 2 first box braids start where my sideburns are. I just love those. I don't know why. Even when I have ponytails on, I be pulling them little braids down to give me some sideburns. So what you are going to do is you are just going to section and take out a little piece. It does not have to be big, and it should not be that big unless you're doing a jumbo side. But it's going to be a small piece that you are going to section out. Now, before I start braiding for real, I like to put some oil on my ends as well as my hair, but you don't want to do too much because if you're going to be using some braiding gel and or some gel, it can turn your hair white. Now, this is what works for me. So, yeah, this will work for me. Now, after that, you are just going to put the braiding gel all down your hair. And then I'm going to show you guys the 2 methods that you can do to basically install a box braid. Now, this is going to be method 1. And as you can see here, I'm focused on the Real Housewives of Potomac. I'm going to take 1 piece, and it is going to be a medium piece. And I'm going to break it into 2 sections, as you see here. Now you are going to take that 1 piece, break it into 2 pieces, and place 1 piece on top of the other. After you take 1 piece and place it on top of the other, you are basically going to match them with their equal parts. So you should be able, as 1 piece is with one, the other piece is with the other. They should be the same to intertwine like this. After that, where you see my thumb at and where you see my index finger, my thumb is on the piece that will be the middle portion of where your braid is. So when I say the middle portion of where your braid is, it's going to be the middle, which is going to be on top of your real hair. So as you can see me here and what I'm doing, I'm taking that middle piece. I have my index finger and my thumb, but you are going to take that middle piece and place it on top of your real hair. Once you place it on top of your real hair, you are going to basically open up the other piece of braid that you have and make an opening and go under with one of the braiding hair. Now you'll see what I mean as I keep braiding, but I'm going to do it one more time. The middle piece is going to go on top of your real hair. You are going to take the piece as you see in my left hand and go under where my right hand is, where that loop. And then you're just going to keep creating a loop to go under and through with the piece of hair. So you can't really see that much where my finger is, but as I am going down, you see kind of the loop opening that I'm talking about. So where my left hand is going to go through my right. Where my right hand is going to go through my left. And you are just going to keep doing the same thing. You also just want to take your time. It may take you a couple of times to do this, but this is only method 1. So just take your time going through to create a neat braid and secure braid. And when you're braiding down, you don't want to tug at your braid too much, because then you can pull it from basically where the scalp is. And when you get a box braid, you want it to be right on top of your scalp. You don't want it to be pulled down from the hair. Okay, with my second method, with the second method, hold on. You are going to take one piece, right? A medium piece, because your real hair that you are using is medium. And you are going to place it on top. So your real hair should be in the middle. Now with my left hand, I am going to grab the hair in my right hand. And now I'm going to grab my real hair, and I'm going to grab the hair in my left hand. Okay, so it's going to be kind of left, right, left. So I'm taking the hair with my left hand that's in my right, and I'm folding it over, and the hair with my right hand, I'm going to my left. So you see what I'm doing? It's kind of the opening situation we were talking about last time. You're going to take this hair, you're going to push it under, grabbing the other piece. Now, as you can see, you still see more of my real hair in this method than you do the other one, but we're about to make that disappear. So where my real hair is, the hair piece closest to it, I'm just going to break a little bit off. And now that I'm going to break a little bit off, I'm going to combine it, right? I'm doing it again. I'm going to combine it. And the same method that I was just doing with taking the hair that's in my left hand with my right hand and pulling it over, vice versa, I'm going to follow suit. As it comes to the bottom row, you want to make sure that you gel up your kitchen really good, okay? And you want to section off. So I'm going to go ahead and do the bottom row first, because that's the most difficult part of my head. And then I'm going to come back, as you see now, to the second row. The second row, you are going to section off. These are medium braids, as you can tell. And I'm going to section off and use method 2 to install my box braids. So as we were doing before, you want to gel the hair. Now, if it's too much, you can take a piece and push it to the back. My nails are pretty sharp. I know y'all didn't see me using a comb to section it off, but I still got a straight piece, okay? You're going to take the gel and you're going to gel all of your hair, okay? Not too much. You don't want to overindulge. Now, we are going to be using method 2. So as you guys remember, I am putting my hair on top, and with my left hand, I am pulling the hair that's in my right hand, and with my right hand, I'm pulling the hair that's in my left hand, okay? And after that, I'm going through the little hole that I'm creating. So I'm going to do it one more time. You are going to take the hair that is in your right hand, bring it over, and then you are going to take the hair that is in your left hand, go through that little loop that it's going to create, bring it over, grab, okay? You are going to pull with the left. There's a little hole that's going to be created when you go through. You are going to pull. Now you are going to take the hair that's in your right hand, go through that hole with your left hand. That's in your left hand, I'm sorry. And then you are going to keep on doing. So as you can see, this is my right hand. I'm going through the little hole. Now I've released the hair in my left hand. Now I'm taking the hair that's in my left hand, going through the hole that's in the right hand. And now, since we did not use the 3 the 3 strands. I guess I'll call it the 3-strand method a little bit, okay? We are going to be taking and covering our real hair. So we are going to take the piece that is closest to our real hair. And we are going to do the same method. You want to take your time with this. You don't want to tangle your hair or anything, but you want to take your time. But now that the hair is in my right hand, I'm going to grab the hair that is in my left hand, go under that little loop, and bring it on over. Now, I'm going to keep on doing these sections. I'm just going to do it another time for you guys so you guys can see. But I'm going to keep doing this until I get to the middle. Hey honey buns, I am at my half section, which means I'm getting ready to start the top. But I know I clarified before about putting some gel on your kitchen. If I did not say this, you should also be, when you are sectioning, putting a little bit of gel on top of that section, as you saw me doing in the last clip, the last 2-3 clips. Okay, now that I am done with the back, I am going to be starting with my top side. Now, I said I was going to do the bottom with box braids, so that's what you see me here doing. And I'm just making sure that across my forehead, basically, that the lines are symmetrical and they match up in the best way possible. Now, this can get a little janky when I take my glasses off because I can't see, but as you can see here, the starting is going to be box braids at the bottom, and then the next row are going to be cornrows. Okay, so we are going to do 3 cornrows on each side, and they are going to be small. I'm just going to wrap my hair up to get that out of the way. Now I'm just counting 1, 2, 3, and that is where I'm going to section the hair off. Now, as you can see, my edges obviously do not have any edge control on them. I usually wait until the end to do that. And also, I'm hot, so they getting a little bit sweated out right now, but that's okay. So I'm just going to section off everything and make sure that everything is straight and aligned, and then I'm going to start. Now, when I do my cornrows, I am going to add on just a little piece of hair to make it longer. And yeah, y'all gonna see that. Just wait it out. Hold on. So in my head, I am counting how many corn rolls I am at before I add a piece of hair. I don't like adding a piece of hair too soon, and I don't braid my edges in neither, but it's just because the top around my perimeter is a little bit thin, so I don't want to add too much hair and put too much tension on the front. So that's why it looks like I'm adding it kind of all the way in the back, but I'm really not. But this is just how I prefer to do it, and that's just what works for me. So when I'm corn rolling the hair, it is the same method that I use when I am box braiding. You are literally just taking the piece of hair from opposite sides and putting them through the little hole that you can see me kind of creating with two pieces. So after I am finished corn rolling my 3 corn rolls, the next row are going to be box braids, and I believe it was for me 4 box braids on each row. This is what it looks like, and ooh, don't she look cute? Okay. And this is what it's going to look like. I'm just combing out a little bit of what I see. I braided a little bit of my edges, and I don't want to do that, so that's what I'm getting right and getting together. But the next row will be box braids, and like I said, I believe it was 3 to 4 from me box braids that I braided in. And right here, I'm kind of debating, am I getting tender-headed or do I just braid tight? And I've come to the consensus, I think it's just a little bit of both, and that's okay. But after I did those box braids, the rest of my hair basically is going to be corn rolls. So I am going to section that off piece by piece, and I'm just going to take my time. Okay, now that I am almost done, I only have 2 pieces left. So I'm just going to split those down the middle and finish up braiding. As you can see here, in each corn roll, I added hair. But when it is done, I am going to be putting some mousse on it. And I'm also going to be sealing my ends with some hot water. So I'm just going to finish these 2 last braids, and then I'm going to show you guys how I wrap everything up. Okay, so now that I am done, I have already started putting mousse, as you can see on the second slide, but it's going to dry. But the first thing that I do after I put my ends under some boiling water is I oil my scalp with some wild growth, okay? This is the best feeling in the whole wide world. And I'm getting in between every crevice and every crack. After that, I'm going to put some Tresemme on my hair. And in the beginning, you saw me kind of combing out like the leftover strays that I have. If you have that, I do those weekly when I have braids just to make sure I'm upkeeping my maintenance. But yeah, I don't have too much after I do this the first time, really, or the second time when I do checkups. But I'm just going to be lathering my hair with some Tresemme mousse. And then after that, I'm going to be putting a scarf on. and I'm going to go to sleep, okay? Now, it doesn't have to be any special kind of scarf, but if you want a good, sleek, healthy look, you should be using a satin scarf. So when I put my scarf on, I typically put a bonnet on over top of it because I let my braids hang at night and I sleep on top of them with no problem. But to give you guys a full show of what the hair really looks like fully with me all glossed up and got my shea butter on, this is what it's going to be looking like, okay? Now, I can't wait to see you, honey buns, on Honey Bun TV next week. Mwah.